Hi, Susan. Yes, technical difficulties. Uh, uh, um, so I was doing my nails before I went live, and it took so long. Nothing is going right today. And you could probably tell that by the technical difficulties. I just need to get in here so I can see what you see, hopefully, because last week that didn't work. Uh, Hi, Linda. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Susan. That's the ended one. Shoot, that won't work. So I wanted to share a very quick and easy treat holder. I'm hoping that, I have the dimensions written here, but it was like a week or so ago. So let me just flip to my other camera here. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Of course we can't. Okay, so many people are using this software, but I am not loving it. I probably can't zoom from that one. Add stream. So I have one more software that I would like to try, and if that doesn't work, then we shall see. I'm going to lose my mind. Hi, Judy. Hi, Linda. Hi, Diane. Oh my gosh, I hate when technology doesn't work the way I think it should. So I was doing these before. I said to my daughter, I'm like, this is like ugly sweater nails edition. Like, it did not turn out the way I had planned. This gold is like, oh, it's too much. So I I'll fix it later. But I wanted to share this treat holder. I know that I shared so many. I showed you what they look like, but it was like, I don't have time to show you all of it. So I want to see if, of course, this isn't. I don't love this technology. I really don't. It won't let me zoom. Okay, so you can see my face there because, you're going to see that I'm talking. Can we? Why won't it let me zoom? Squirrel. It's going to be a squirrely night. So I'm going to make this quick because I have like a ton of swaps to do. I had to email my poor team and tell them that their gifts are going to be more like a Ukrainian Christmas timed thing because there's just so much, and I've lost so much sleep already that I'm like walking dead. Anyways, so I showed you all those treat holders, was trying to figure out how the best way to demonstrate them all would be, and I've run out of time, and at this point it's probably a little too late to show all of them. So I thought I will incorporate them into other times of the year. So this little Hershey Kiss one that I have, that is a box, and I have a shaker box as well. I'm going to share that in either Creativity Delivered or Handmade at Home coming up. If you haven't heard of those, actually both of them, Handmade at Home is with Denise Cox in Canada, and Creativity Delivered is with Tiffany Almeida in the States, and both of them are a monthly card kit. It is like a consumables thing, so you get paper, you get ribbon, you get embellishments, you get the supplies to make. There's different quantities, so if you want to know anything, go to stampedAF.ca and you'll see information about both. Registration is also open for the Nothing But Love retreat, which is February 17th to 19th. And also, registration is open for my product shares. So if you want the paper, if you want the ribbon, if you want the embellishments, if you want all three, there is registration for that. It's open in Canada only, I'm sorry. So I think those are all the announcements. So this cute little box holds one of these little icy squares, Moritz icy squares. So I saved the box just so you could see them. They also have icy cups, which would fit in here as well. But this is a good size container. I am thinking like a Lindor would fit. Let's see. I've got a whole bunch of Lindor here. And look, this one actually matches. So you could probably fit two of those in there. but I made this one specifically for this because I mean, you can try Googling these icy squares and they're really hard to find. So thank you, Elizabeth. So I'm going to show you how I did this. And I will put the template up on my website probably tomorrow, maybe Friday. Also, who else, like, how is it only Wednesday? But also, thank God it's only Wednesday, right? Oh my gosh. So, with this piece of the gingham, cottage gingham, country gingham, I don't even know anymore. So many things. Gingham, cottage. I had the right words, just the wrong order. There are so many things that are sold out or discontinued on the last chance list. There are some that are still available, so head on over and check. I know that this bundle is no longer available. I think the dies sold out quickly. But if you already have it, or if you have something else, then you can use that. This one, you can't quite see it so much, but with his arms, it says, I love you. And he's got his arms out. So, you know, you're like, I love you this much. And I know you can't see my arms. So he's like, I love you so much. And it's his little snowman arms. So we'll move that tag down just a little bit. Hi, Roz. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Lisa. Oh, thank you. Based on how the stream started, I think we're all lucky that I was able to go live. If you saw the first couple seconds, it was like, like, why can't I do this? Okay, so squirrel. I'm telling you right now, I'm very squirrely today. We need a piece that is 5 by 6. Now, I'm going to use a piece of the Kindest Gnomes, Storybook Gnomes, DSB. And if it's directional like this, where the trees, we don't want them going that way. You want to keep the 6-inch side along the top. Okay, actually, we're going to start on the other side. So if your paper is directional, like I said, make sure that you're cutting it with the 6-inch side with the direction the right way. I probably didn't say that right the first time. So we are scoring it on the 5-inch side at 1 1/4. And like I said, I will put a template up on my website. I am trying to get back into blogging. I said 1 1/4 and 4 inches. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm spending so much on my website that I'm going to go to a free version, Blogger, for example. Well, I tried that for like a post or two, and it was like, you know what? Just pay the dang money, lady. You got enough in your life without having to try and figure this all out and start from scratch. So I'm back to stampedAF.ca, no blogspot.ca. Just done. Sometimes it's better to just pay to have it easy. Okay, so on the 6-inch side, we are scoring all the way down at 2.5 and 5 inches. And when you have the dimensions for this, you're going to come back and watch this video and maybe watch it at 1.5 times to go get past all of my squirreliness. Hi, Feline. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you so much for sharing, Feline. Hi, I said Roz. Thank you so much, Jill, for sharing. Last week, I did my giveaway, right? Set it all up. And then I forgot to actually do it while we were live. So Kathy was the lucky winner, but that was after the fact. So let me just go on to, I need someone here to help me with this stuff. I don't have enough hands or focus to be able to do all this. But let's set up another one. Type. There we go. And then when I give you whatever that word is going to be, you are going to type it in, and then one lucky winner will get, what will you get? I'll figure it out. It'll be a surprise for now. So what should our hashtag be? Surprise. Spelled the right way. So the other thing that was funny, so last week I used this giveaway for the first time and forgot to do it live, of course. But when I did actually do it, if you were here last week with me, I typed it in myself, hashtag giveaway. Well, it shows me like 3 times in a row. So we need more than 5 people to enter so that it doesn't just get me. Hi, Samantha. Thank you. They are, I have a little bit of cleanup to do. They're not in the best shape right now, but this is Gel Moment. It is gel polish. I love it. I used to be a distributor. I swear by it. Please don't judge it based on this horrible manicure. My eyesight's going. So anyways, yes, we need a whole bunch of people to enter. No, it's not only Canada, because it will be what am I don't know what I'm gonna send. What am I gonna send? I did take a whole bunch of cards to work. So I managed to de-stash. I want to thank, who was it? Barbara said, "Oh, take them to a nursing home." And I'm like, I took them to work. One of my coworkers asked for some holiday cards, and I'm like, yes, I will bring you some. And then I brought my non-seasonal cards, and they are loving it. So, oh my gosh. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they'll get better. Anyways, I will. So I can send cards, I can send projects, I can send something that I've already made anywhere in the world. No problem. I can't send physical product. So if I had, let's say, the Snowman Magic stamp set or one of the Celebration stamp sets, I can't send that outside of Canada, but I can give you a gift. I can let you choose one of my tutorials for free. So maybe we'll do 2. Maybe we'll do, I have an idea. After we do this hashtag surprise, we will do another one that is for anywhere outside of Canada, or maybe it'll just be for a free tutorial. We can do a couple of them. I'm happy to give them away. The work's already done. So maybe we'll do that. We'll do a surprise for like an actual card or something. I mean, I've got stuff made. Uh, anyways, okay, so 2.5 and 5. And then what we need to do is we need to, you probably can't see much of it, but in order for us to get this fun little box on the bottom, we need to do some scoring that is only from this 1.25 inch line. And I know you're not going to be able to see much of this right now, especially because I can't figure out how to zoom. Oh, thank you, Pauline. Amanda does the same, work in a nursing home and leave them out for my coworkers to use. I mean, the idea of leaving them at a nursing home was great, but my coworkers are just like, oh my God, you do this? You should be selling these. You should be charging for these. And I'm like, honestly, you're doing me a favor. I make cards almost every day. I've got so many of them. It's not about recouping the money. It's about me being able to use my creativity and share it and then not have my house overtaken by them, right? Okay, so at 1.25, I know I told you that you'll be able to watch this and follow along, but apparently I haven't spoken in days. And then 3 3/4. And did I do 1 at 5? I did. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this one more time on a piece of cardstock or something maybe that's a little more solid so you can see. And also for those catching the replay, thank you. Also, good luck. But no, I'm going to do this on a piece of paper that's maybe easier for you to see. What paper would that be? Let's pick. What shall we pick? Should we use a new paper? Let's use one of these. This is, oh my goodness, what is it called? I can't show you the inside of the catalog. Speaking of which, for those of you that have ordered a catalog for me, requested one, not ordered because you don't pay for it, they arrived today. UPS said after they dropped them on my doorstep that my delivery was going to be rescheduled to tomorrow, and it's like, huh? They're there. Anyways, what is this called? Fancy Flora. I knew Flora was in there somewhere, but I kept thinking Fauna. So the catalogs will be going out in the mail I'm going to say Friday since they just arrived late today. But yeah. Oh boy. Okay, I'm not going to talk through this one. I will give you the measurements and just the measurements. Cards stored in a box cannot be enjoyed. Exactly, Feline. Oh, yes, my tutorials are easy and user-friendly. This is not. Okay, so on the 5-inch side, we are scoring at 1 1/4. I don't know that this paper is going to be any easier to see, but it's so pretty. 1 1/4, 4. Now we're going to turn it to the 6-inch side, and we are scoring it at 2 1/2. See, this is how I can't have a half-hour Facebook Live. 2 1/2 and 5. Now we're going to turn it back to that. Actually, no, we're not turning it. We're leaving it here and then back it up to 1 1/4. And now we are just going to this line. You probably can't see it, but it's right here. So we are just scoring up to there. Now with the Stampin' Up paper trimmer, the numbers are along the side. In order to be able to see it better, I put a piece of tear and tape and didn't remove the release paper. So now I can see exactly where I need to stop, which is the 4-inch mark. There is a little slot on there. Okay, and then I went a little far, but that's okay. 3 3/4. Now what we're going to do, I could almost go with that side. This will be the one that I cut up because, I mean, it goes, right? So now what we need is our Stampin' Pierce mat. And this is the bottom. We need a bone folder and a ruler or some kind of stylus and a ruler. So what we're going to do is, I just want to make sure I'm going the right way. We are going to go from this line down and out. So while that looks like the bottom, we're going to work from there. So, so we are going from this score line, the one that we just did, only up to that second score line. Oh, let me show you a trick because I discovered this. Hi, Safia. I am a gong show tonight, so I think this might be your first time catching me live. So good luck, my friend. We are going to go ahead and cut these tabs, and you will understand why in a minute. It's a little hack, and it really helped me. So I took a bunch of my treat holders and my holiday cards, and people at work were just helping themselves. I had like 2 boxes of candy canes because of course I had the sweet candy canes class and a whole bunch of candy canes left. So took those. So what I did was, now that I've cut up to that tab, my ruler will just automatically stop there, especially if I fold it back a little bit. And then now I'm just going to go to this edge. So you don't want to press too hard. It is DSP. You can go back and forth a little bit. And now look, it sits right in there. I don't have to worry about going to the wrong spot because I can't. Okay, so just back and forth. And I'm going to do this again on my other paper because that's the one we're using, but also because I just pressed a little too hard. So do what I say, not what I do. So now we've got our ruler stuck in here, and this one won't let us go any further. It's such a great hack, and it was purely accidental. Okay, so now we're going to lift this one up so that it acts as our little stopper. And there we go. So what I would do next is take these and burnish them, because once your box starts getting assembled, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. Ask me how I know. Okay, so we'll give all of those score lines just a finger burnish. We don't necessarily need to use our bone folder, especially because I'm not assembling this one. But when the time comes, this is going to be the top. Now, I'm going to get my punch before I forget. And I want to tell you that with almost all of the treat holders I made, this punch came in so handy. It's carrying forward into, I don't is it in the mini catalog? It's not retiring. So because we have no tag topper punches left, I used that on everything. It was like my Frank's Red Hot sauce. And then I used this to put the hole in there. So I need to remember to do this before I start gluing it. But I want to get this out. So now one more time, maybe let's go on this side. Can you see it if it's on this side? Is it maybe easier to see than if it's on that side? I'm going to go ahead and say yes because it looks like it from here. So for those just joining, I know some have said, oh, I love your nails. It didn't go as planned. And I was saying to my daughter, it's almost like, the whole ugly sweater challenge. I feel like I've got that going on in my nails. This is a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to cut up to these. I'm cutting these tabs up to that first score line so that I've got my little hack. And then all we're doing is we are going from the edge of that tab to the edge of this one. And don't press too hard. Now you can do this with a paper trimmer, but it can be really hard to figure out where you are starting and stopping. So I found that using the bone folder on my Stampin' Pierce mat with a ruler and those tags kind of pre-cut and my little hack, it was so much easier. I made 10 of these, I want to say. So just fold it up, and then you can't help but go any further. Okay, and then now we're just going to burnish all of those score lines. If you feel like it's not deep enough, you can come back in. Because I am actually assembling this one, I will use my bone folder. Oh. No, not screensaver. Okay, we have 6 entries. Keep going. Hashtag surprise, and you'll get a surprise. And whoever wins, if instead of a surprise you would just like a tutorial, let me know. I've started giving those. That's actually what my host code is for December. If people place a qualifying order, which is $60 before taxes and shipping, they get to choose a tutorial. So I had one of my customers placed a hefty order. Thank you so much, my dear. I'm not going to name names. She placed a significant order. So I'm like, you know what? Go ahead and pick like 3 or 4 or however many you want. So we are going to trim these tabs off. Like I said, there will be a tutorial. A template. So we're going to miter that one. That's actually kind of big, but it's not going to hurt anything. So we'll just leave it as is. We are not going to miter the tops because we're punching it, but I will do a little bit of mitering on the edges. And a little hack so that you're not cutting a whole bunch is to just fold them over and do both at the same time. We're just taking a little slice out. So this isn't going to work every time that you have to miter tabs, but when you can, just fold them over and then it's only one cut. Follow me for more hashtag lazy girl stamping. Okay, so there's our tabs. We'll deal with that later. Now, before I forget, I need to go ahead and do my punching on the top because if I wait any longer, it's not going to work. So I can't remember who I was watching. Yes, Elizabeth, it works in Facebook and YouTube. Still only 6 entries. So someone, I'm not this smart, but someone was mentioning in a video that I was watching that when you're using this punch, if you look at how it looks when you're looking at it, which makes a ton of sense, right? Like this is exactly how it's going to punch if I put my paper in that way. This is how it's going to look if I put it in the other way. So let me show you what I mean. So if we put it in this way, I'm going to get kind of that ornate, I don't know what you call it, but that will be on that side. Now, if I want that same look on this side, I have to flip it and put it in the same way. If I want it to look this way, where that little swoop is on the bottom, then I put it in this way. So when you're trying to figure out how to use this, you're probably smarter than I am, but I did not think of this. Just look at how the punch is. So here we've got that rounded piece, and then it comes out into like kind of like an inverted corner rounder, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to call this. And then here the rounded part is at the bottom, and then it comes up to be a little more ornate. So just look at how you have your punch. But remember that if you want it to be the same on both sides, you need to put it in that way and then flip it over and put it in that way. You're not turning it and putting it in the other way. So which way do I want it? I want it with the rounder part on top. So I'm going to put it in this way. And then I'm going to flip it and put it back in that way. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to punch my little notch. So this is about 1 3/4. So if I take, is it more? I was going to say if it's easier in centimeters, I'll do that, but it's not. It is 1 3/4, so I'm going to say about 7/8 is the center. Sounds good, right? So let's mark it down. Oh, sorry. Nope, I was right. 1 3/4. We're only measuring up here, so we'll put this 7/8. I think I broke this lead the other day when I was using it. So now we'll just draw that down. And on here, there is like a notch that comes down. That is the center line. So now all we have to do is draw our line a whole lot longer. I usually just eyeball it, but because Miss Elizabeth is here, I'm just kidding. I want to show you how to do it properly. So draw your line and then line it up there. You should see an even amount on each side and punch. Now we will erase this. Look how easily I switched back to focus mode. I was a little all over the place at the beginning. My apologies. Okay, I feel like that took some of the color off, but maybe it was just ombre there to begin with. Anyways, I will clean that up later. So now what we need to do, I've done all the pieces I need to do. We will go ahead and glue this. My glue is actually in the dining room because, like I mentioned, I have 48 swaps that I have to do because I am a dummy. And this is an invitation-only swap. It is an honor to even be invited. And I signed up for 2 groups. I signed up for the second group thinking, oh, I'll just do this. And then it said something about if you're in the second group, like you should, whatever. I screwed up. So I'm in 2 swaps plus Celebration. So I'm going to have so many great cards coming for Celebration and a mini. So now all we have to do is glue all this together. Look, I'm back to the non-focus mode. I do have some glue here. So all of that to say that I've been working on swaps in between my team gifts and getting out holiday cards and wrapping gifts and all of the stuff that we try to do at the holidays, right? So okay, now if you don't miter one of the tabs, you won't be able to see all of that stuff. So maybe leave one. And then what I like to do, thank you, great alignment tip, good alignment tip. Just look at it from the top and make sure that you can't see any of those tabs. Okay, and then you have a self-opening and self-closing. Well, not self-opening, but self-closing box. So to get the icy square in there, I just kind of drop it in. But if you don't get it in there the right way, it will not like self-correct. So I think what I did was I just tipped it and then shook it. But I mean, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't lie flat on there. It is why I designed like, why I cased a square bottom box. I'm pretty sure I got this from Poodles. I will put that in the blog post, whoever it was, because I mean, I was making tons of treat holders. OCD. Oh, I get it. Your wrapping is done. That's awesome. My daughter was like, get to wrapping, lady. I'm like, you could do it too. But I was using my laser the other day and I can't leave it unattended, obviously. So I was wrapping at the same time. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create our little triangle. And I do not have the notebook in here that has those measurements. So what I'm going to do is figure it out the way I did it the first time. Thank you, Dawn. So it is 2¼ inches wide and 2¼ inches tall. So let's look. We could make multiples. I have a piece of cardstock right here. So what we will do is we're going to cut this down to 2 inches because I want to have a little mat around it, and then I can stamp my snowman on here. That doesn't look right, does it? Let's see. That doesn't seem like it's going to be right, but you know what? Most of the snowman's going to be covered. So all I did was I measured my center mark, which is 1 inch. So we'll do a tiny little nick there with the trimmer. And now I'm just going to go from the corner. Can you see? The corner to that little nick mark. I have a feeling this triangle is way too short. But I'm not doing well with thinking on the fly. So if it doesn't work, I will make sure that the dimensions are right in that tutorial. Yeah, that's a little small. Honestly, I don't remember how I got it to be exactly the right shape. How wide is this? It is 2 1/8, 2¼ 2¼ by 2½. Let's do that. 2¼ I'm losing valuable snowman room by 2½. It's not a square. So now we will center this. And the easiest way that I find to do this is if you don't automatically know that half is 1 1/8, just line it where you think it looks centered. And then you will come to a point where you are at the same number on both sides. Okay, so we'll put that little nick in the bottom. The other thing you can do is with a mechanical pencil, just put a little line at the bottom. I'm going to put my little nick and then corner to that nick. This was lovely when we had triangle dies. That looks better. Okay, so the nick to the corner again. And just a little tip. I don't know if you noticed that, but I lifted it just as I got to the corner of my triangle, because if I use that blade right on that tiny little piece of cardstock, it is going to crumble it. There we go. It was 2¼ by 2½. That's why it didn't work. So with some grid paper, my apologies for the noise, we are going to take a blending brush, and I can't wait to show you the mini blending brushes that are in the new catalog. But I have to wait because I didn't order them until my last order, which is still sitting in picking because it was the free shipping day. So it said 7 to 10 days to ship, and I'm like, ah. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of, actually, let's do Pool Party instead of Balmy Blue. That is a little too blue for this. So there are mini brushes that are like half the size of this. There is a stand to hold them. You are very welcome, Judy. I'm going to take some Pool Party and just go around the outer edges. We're going to give ourselves a little snowy sky. Now, if you want, you can use a piece of masking paper or a little bit of a Post-it to give yourself a snowy hill. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm trying to think of how I'm going to get the sticky part on there. Okay, I'll go this way. I don't want a mountain. I want a snowy hill. Now, Granted, you're not going to see much of this, but this will give you a nice solid-ish line, depending on how much blending you do. You do see a little bit behind him. Okay, so there's our little snowbank. Now, we've got a scrap of basic white here. I am going to stamp my snowman and the sentiment using, we'll just go with Pool Party because it's out. And I've already taken enough time. He has got a little hat and a scarf, which I was fussy cutting them before, but I might die cut them this time because time, right? What else do I need? I need I Love You So Much. We also need his little arms. And on this first one, you can see very little of it that I stamped them and I die cut them. On the other versions that I made, used the little skinny arms and used a piece of soft suede. But let's just do all of this on one and I'll color those with soft suede. I think this might be enough for our sentiment. Maybe we'll do as much as we can on here. I know I could put these all on one block and do this at one time, but we'll do the hat and the scarf. Cute. Still hashtag surprise if you want a surprise. Because I've talked so much that it's taking forever. Okay, now we'll do the snowman. And I would just suggest that if you're making these, try and keep your snowman the same, like your snowman and your background the same color as your DSP. Like on this one, I could have used Pool Party because there is Pool Party Night of Navy stamped off and Pacific Point. This one, there's only Pacific Point. So I use Balmy Blue as a lighter version. And then this one, we're doing Pool Party, but we could also use Bermuda Bay. I think that would be a little bit dark, but maybe for the hat and the scarf. Let's do that. I've already taken them off the blocks, but that's fine. Ooh, we're up to 10. Thank you, Feline. Feline says, these are so cute. I made a bunch of the mini milk containers from your video a couple weeks back and filled them with candy for my coworkers. Sweet. See, for me, they don't seem to understand that I'm making this kind of stuff all the time, whether it be for a live stream or a video. They're like, oh, I need to pay you for this. Like, you put money into this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, honestly, I don't mind. Like, I would love for someone to appreciate these versus just sitting in my craft room. So they're made to be given. But I mean, it's kind of like, here's one of these and two of these. And like, if you want a full set, no way. No way, no how. Okay, so I Love You So Much is going to be in Bermuda Bay. And then I'll color his arms once I have die cut them. It's funny, I can hear an echo, like maybe not an echo, but everything I say I hear back like in stereo. I was thinking coastal. I've already stamped them twice now, so we're going to go with this. Yes, 5x6, that's all you need. And I mean, this cottage gingham was great, but I was using up bits of this Kindest Gnomes, storybook gnomes. I need to rewatch. They are so cute. Thank you, Marty. So the reason I fussy cut these was, one, I wanted a very close border, but two, I found that they kept moving on me. So I'm going to tape these down well. I'm just using some Post-it tape. The scarf. These are such cute little dies. I did a swap when we first got to them. I mean, when the catalog was still in pre-order. And this was the bundle that I used. I did a flat shaker card and added the gingerbread house in behind. It was so stinking cute, if I do say so myself. I have none to show you now. But if you look back, there's a video where I show, or a Facebook Live, where I show all of the things, all of the swaps. The things. Okay, so we'll pop these on here. I'm just going to run this through my electric die cutting machine because it's out and set up. And because with the amount of die cutting I do, I can't do it all by hand. Ooh, I almost lost his arm. Boy, I almost lost it all. Okay, so spoiler, I use a magic mat for my die cutting. I actually had a conversation with a customer last night asking about if the current plates for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine work for the old Big Shot. And yes, they do. And I said, you know, I know Stampin' Up doesn't sell it, but this magic mat has saved me so much on plates. All I have to do is use a new top plate and it lasts so long. I love it. And I don't get the same kind of marks that I used to get when I was using clear plates. So, I mean, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I can't have big lines, especially on metallic foil. You keep the little, let me put this on the screen because I don't think I can read it. Oh, mouse isn't going to work for that. I am, how do I, oh, there we go. I am going to, as of tomorrow, because it's payday, I'm ordering a different camera so that I can use my computer instead of my iPad and my phone. So when I get that, which won't be in time for next week, but I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do a live stream next week. We'll see. I would love to know what you think of how it looks. I mean, it's going to be like a webcam, and people say, oh, webcams aren't great. But, I mean, the front camera of my iPad isn't great either. So, it is what it is, right? I am just kind of fussy cutting this, or fussily cutting it. So, you just want a thin little edge on it because we don't want to cover his arms. We want it to be clear that we're saying, I love you this much. Okay, so if I take my scissors at that angle and then just kind of move the paper over, I will get a similar angle. Right, I mean, Stampin' Up doesn't carry everything there. I'm sorry, but there are things that we need that Stampin' Up doesn't sell. And the Magic Mat is one that it's worth its weight and then some. Okay, so we're going to color these with soft suede or maybe bronze. Let's just do bronze because it's right here. Now, my take your pick tool is not in here because, again, it's with the swaps. So what I'm going to do, I don't need to color the back, like the dot, because if we see that, then we got problems. But just hold it down. And then your fingers won't be the color of whatever you're coloring. And then you don't have a tiny little scrap of soft suede hanging around. I think it's only on scrapbook.com, Feline. And I mean, I hesitate to send anyone anywhere but Stampin' Up. Honestly, I'm sold. It just saves so much on plates. And it gives you a high quality. Snowflakes. Where did I get my snowflakes from? Ironically, they are not from in here because the only snowflake is this one. Where did I get this from? I want to say it's penguins. Where's my penguins? It is. Can you believe the punch for this stamp set is, I think it's only $10, $16 Canadian. It's unbelievable. Snowflakes. So we are just going to do some pool party because I don't want them to be super obvious. We just kind of want them there, but not stealing the show. Do you want to hear a story? This is unbelievable. If you were watching me last week when I made my hot chocolate holder, which I've given away, I only have the owl one left. I mentioned that I lost the beak for this penguin. So this little beak, don't know where it is. We had this crafty thing at work last year, and one of the people had the stamp literally taped to his card. And when I saw it, I'm like, hey, you can't have this. This is part of my supplies. But alas, it's gone. So just after I said that, I lost a stamp from my current collection, and I am really sad because I have looked everywhere and I had to order a second one. I did not, Kim. I'm going to put a template on my website likely tomorrow, but I don't want to commit 100% because life happens and I don't want to not do something that I say I'm going to do. I have struggled with that. I continue to struggle with that, and I don't want that. So I lost in the new Share a Milkshake set, which is part of it's the handmade at home kit for this coming month for January. Deadline to sign up is the 5th, only because the catalog goes live on the 5th. We're going to take this little face that faces this way, faces left. I've just got some memento. So it's part of the handmade at home kit, and it's also part of the virtual retreat. I lost the cherry. Can you believe it? So I'll be honest, the cherry is like the cutest thing in here. I lost it. So now I had to order a second stamp set just for this cherry. And what do you want to bet that as soon as I use it, the original cherry is going to show up? I've gone through my garbage. I have looked at every possible thing I can think of. It's gone. So I had to order a second one. I mean, it's one thing when you've had the stamp for a while and you've taken it and people have used it, but I mean, this is only me. And the catalog hasn't even started yet. Okay, for the nose. Focus, woman, focus. It's almost been an hour for one tiny little project. For the nose, we are going to color it just with a Stampin' Write marker because a Stampin' Blend would be way too big. Okay, so there's his nose. We can go ahead and adhere his hat and his scarf. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. This is Tombow in here. It's just in a fine tip applicator. I need my Take Your Pick tool. Okay, so we'll glue the scarf and the hat. Okay, and then for our arms, I really need my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to have the one that would typically be on the left on the right and vice versa, or whatever. They're pointing up. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on these dots, which is exactly what that's there for. And we're going to have it so he's holding them up. I will tell you, the first time was purely fluke. After that, I'm like, oh, I love it. I love you so much. Oh, I did not realize this was still up there. There we go. See, I need like a producer. Okay, so now we can go ahead. We'll just add a little bit of glue to the back of this. I can't believe how long this has taken for just one little project. So we will put that on there. Now you could always do this before you assemble it all. I would definitely put it on the other side if I were to do this again, if I were actually paying attention, because you don't want these tabs showing at the front. But it's too late. I do not, but there's this little thing which is really a pain when you're not using it, so I put an elastic on it. You just keep it covered. And another funny story, my fine tip glue pen, I never use this except this part. I can't tell you how many bottles of Tombow have gotten like clogged or I don't know what else, but I use my fine tip glue just for that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and I'm just putting him on here. I'm not popping him up. I do want to look at where he's being placed. I mean, right here we've got that little bit of a trunk that's kind of in the way, but we'll put him on a bit of an angle. So instead of trying to figure out where we're putting him on the snowman, we're going to put it on there so that we don't have glue like oozing out where we don't need it. Hold that for a few seconds. You love the fine tip glue, Amanda? Okay, and now we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that sign, and we're going to have him kind of holding it up, but also holding his hands out. So maybe I should have had one kind of pointing down, but I don't love that it's covering so much of his scarf. But it did on my first one too. So you could always readjust his hands so that he's kind of holding it, because right now, I mean, it's magic. Anyways, I think you get the point. I have some pool party ribbon here that I'm going to use. I was not a fan of this ribbon when it first came out, but I love that it's so subtle. So we'll string a little bit through there. And then we could put some twine at the top like I did on this one, but I think I am just going to tie a little bow. It is Tombow in there. Do you mean the fine tip glue? Amanda, let us know what you use it for. I only ever used it, I mean, I used it most when I first got started because I felt like I had to. But I think I used it for like finicky little things. Now I find I don't need it, so I don't use it. Yes, the fine tip. I was kind of cheap with my ribbon, so I don't have a whole lot on here. And then one of the final touches on here is to add a few of the snowflakes. These are the adhesive back snowflakes, but instead I'm going to add a few of the fine sparkle adhesive back gems. Oh, that's going to bother me. Just thinking if I can cut a little bit of it away. Watch, I'm going to cut the whole part off. Better, not great. Make sure your tab is facing the back when you put your thing on. So these fine sparkle gems, I just use a couple of the pool party ones, and I believe that's what I used on the hot cocoa holder last week too. This is another thing I wasn't crazy about when the catalog first came out, but we used them for the Fab and Festive Retreat, and they worked like a charm. They're so easy to color. You did clean one of the bottles out and filled it with Tombow. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, I get it. Okay, so I want to thank you all so much for watching. I've taken up more than enough time for one little project. But like I said, the template will be on my website. If you live in Canada and need anything to make this or any other project, let me know. I always have a host code with an ordering special. During Celebration, there's a great join offer. So if you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up, starting January 5th, which, spoiler, Celebration, we're only having one this year, and it's going to be January and February. There are 3 kit options. It's amazing. Don't let me forget the giveaway. There is, I don't want to quote it, but there are 2 that have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I, again, can't show you the inside of the catalog, but there are 2 that have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So one, there's a new boho blue, and you get $225 of Stampin' Up product for only $175 with that boho blue machine. You get the same deal to get the white machine, so $225 for $175, or and I would suggest this one because it gives you so much product. Option 3 is your choice of $225 for only $135. It's amazing. I totally just lost my train of thought there. There is no commitment to stay on as a demonstrator. You stay as long as you want. If you don't fulfill your quarterly minimum, you go into pending. If you don't kind of pull yourself out of that within the month, you just drop and go back to being a customer. No harm, no foul. So I think that's it. So for the giveaway, before I forget, thank you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone, in case I forget to say that too. So there are 11 entries, and can I share it? I don't think I can share this on here, but maybe, let me turn this camera off for just a second. You get to see my big face there. Now, if I hold this up steadily and I click draw, can you see it? It doesn't go all wonky. Susan is the lucky winner. So Susan, I actually have to send your catalog tomorrow or Friday. So you can let me know what you'd like. Now, let's do one more. I'm not going to make you type in more hashtags. I'm so sorry. I'm like super shaky. I'm going to draw one more time, and this one will be for a free tutorial of your choice. This is fun, isn't it? So the next time I go live, I will have a webcam so I don't have to do this again. Okay, so Susan, you can pick a tutorial as well. Let's do this one more time. And if Susan wins again, then it's broken. Or Susan entered a lot. Oh, okay. I was going to say again. Okay, so Cheryl, you can pick a tutorial. So let me turn this off so that I don't make you seasick. You can go to stampedAF.ca and to the shop tab. It's right at the top. And all of my tutorials that I have like almost ever sold are in there. So you can choose one and I will email that to you. And Susan, you can let me know. Yeah, Susan, buy a lottery ticket, unless you've just used up all your luck from this, in which case I'm sorry. But yes, for anyone, if you'd like to go take a look at my tutorials, they are in there. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If not, what the happy everything, right? I can't remember what the thing is. Merry holidays and happy everything. I don't know. Anyways, happy holidays. Wishing you all the very best. If I don't end up going live next week, I hope you have a wonderful and happy new year. I will announce if I'm going live or if I'm not. But I think I may enjoy some time with my family because I have been burning the candle at all of the ends. So thank you so much for... Oh, I get to choose. Okay, you got it. That's all, because I could probably ramble all night. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon, my craft friends. Bye. I'm like, where do I end it?